Life is in stages, and how well we prepare for each stage determines how well we will live the next stage. Our retirement is one of the most important stages in life, and we must prepare for it. While we are working, it is essential to make a personal commitment to our future outside the mandatory pension provisions by the government to ensure that we live a comfortable life. At retirement. I'd like to introduce the Enterprise Personal Pension Plan to you. It's an individual retirement. Don't simply retire from something, have something to retire to. Dial *714*333# or download the Enterprise Advantage app on Play Store or App Store to sign up now.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Hi, welcome to Retirement in 60 Seconds. Today, we are diving into the importance of setting financial goals. Financial goals are like roadmaps for your money, providing direction and purpose to your financial journey. Here are 4 key reasons why setting financial goals is important. 1. Providing financial direction. Financial goals help you prioritize saving and investing, steering you away from short-term spending temptation. 2. Building healthy habits. By setting and working towards financial goals, you develop saving and budgeting habits that contributes to greater stability and security in the long run. 3. Sense of purpose. Setting financial goals provides motivation and persevere through setbacks and obstacles. 4. Reducing financial risk. Financial goals helps you establish a financial safety net and a well-thought-out strategy to handle unexpected expenses or economic downturn. Remember, setting financial goals lays a solid foundation for your financial stability and paving way for a financial security for your future. So start planning today till we come your way again. Remember to plan well, retire well.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Hello there, welcome to another episode. Today, we will be talking about the importance of setting up an emergency fund. An emergency fund is money you set aside to cover unexpected expenses or financial. 1. It provides you with financial security that helps you avoid financial hardship or unexpected expenses rise. 2. It gives you peace of mind. Knowing that you have financial cushion in place can reduce your stress about potential emergency. 3. It helps you avoid going into debt. Without any emergency fund, unexpected expenses may force you to borrow.
Hello, good morning, cherished customers. Thank you very much for joining us this morning for our very first webinar series for our joiners for this year. So this is our first quarter webinar series for our joiners this year. My name is Nana Santiamwakun, and I'm glad to be your host for this morning. I will also take you through the presentations. We scheduled to start at 11, and since it's 11 o'clock, we won't waste much time. We will zoom in, and I'm sure along the line, quite a number of people will also join us. So I want to use this opportunity to wish all of us a happy new year, since this is the first time almost all of us are meeting, and also to extend greetings from management and staff of Enterprise Trustees to all of you. And because you are on this call, we assume and we know that you are in a new employment. And so congratulations are in order for your new employment, your new roles. And we are glad that you are part of the family. The essence of today's session is to equip all of us with the basic things that we need to know as far as Tier 2 and Tier 3 is concerned. We'll also give you some brief overview of who we are as enterprise trustees. So without wasting much time, I will share my screen so that we can zoom in to our presentation this morning. As we go on, if you have any question, kindly do well to leave it in the chat. My colleagues will pick it up and will do well to address all the questions. I'll do well to also make the discussion very snappy so that we can have more time to interact and address concerns and questions that any of us might have. Right. I want to assume that we can see my slides. Please, if my slides are up, I will zoom into the presentation. So basically this morning, as I mentioned earlier, we will get to know who we are as enterprise trustees. We'll get to understand the National Pensions Act. We will get to know the services that we provide as your corporate trustees. And there are some fact checks and what you need to do as members who have Tier 2, Tier 3 with enterprise trustees. So let me begin with who we are. So someone who asks, I've heard of enterprise. I'm sure some of you even say enterprise insurance, but we are trustees. And so just give you some brief background about enterprise trustees. So enterprise trustees is a subsidiary of the Enterprise Group PLC, which is a publicly listed company on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and which means that we are predominantly institutionally owned. We are part of the group and we have 6 subsidiaries, so 6 different organizations within the group. And I'm sure most of you know Enterprise Insurance, which is the oldest insurance company in Ghana. We're 100 years last year. And so we pride ourselves to be the leaders in the market in all areas that we find ourselves. So we have Enterprise Insurance, Enterprise Life, Enterprise Trustees, Enterprise Properties, Transitions, and Acacia, that is the health insurance arm of the group. We are trustees and we are in charge of your pensions. We also pride ourselves to be the market leaders in terms of the pensions industry in Ghana with assets under management of over 13 billion Ghana cedis. And similarly to our other subsidiaries, we top the various industries that we play in. Aside Ghana, we also have operations in Gambia and Nigeria, both in life specialist business since 2012 and 2021, respectively. In our history, as we mentioned, we're over 100 years, and so we started from somewhere. So in 1924, we established as an agent for the British company as Royal Exchange Assurance. And in 1952, we were registered in Gold Coast to provide general and life insurance. In 1977, the company's name was changed from the Royal Exchange Assurance to Enterprise Insurance Company. And in 1990, we became one of the first companies to be listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange, which gave everyone the opportunity to be a shareholder and an owner of the organization. In the year 2000, the company gave birth to the first baby, I'll put it that way, that is Enterprise Life, which takes care of the life policies. And also in 2010, the group was created to be a holding for all the subsidiaries, i.e. life insurance and pensions. Sanlam became a partner in 2012 with life to include insurance. And in 2017, the group replaced Sanlam with Prudential Incorporated USA. So as you can see, we have external or foreign partners of the group. And in the year 2021, the group increased its subsidiaries to 6 with the acquisition of Acacia Health Insurance. So this is a brief history about us, very brief but very rich, and that is where we see ourselves. Just like any well-organized institution, we have our vision and our mission and our core values that guide the way we operate. as a business. So not to bore you with all this, we will share the slides with you after the engagement. But what is important for us is our mission, which is to provide all who come into contact with us their desired advantage, because we are best at what we do. And for our core values, we identify ourselves as friendly, with professionalism, reliability, excellence, and trust. And these are the things that guide the way we operate. Now, zooming into the main business for the day, why we are gathered here this morning, we want to understand the National Pensions Act at the basic level. At least my job will be completed if all of us have the understanding after this engagement what a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 represents and what goes into it. And as a new member with a new corporate trustee, what I need to do. So this is what I intend to tackle with the subsequent slides. In Ghana today, we operate the 3-tier pension scheme. Proud to this, I'm sure most of you are fathers, our grandfathers, our grandmothers. All that you hear is, I'm going for my SNIT, I'm going for my SNIT. It's because SNIT was the only organization that managed pensions in Ghana then, prior to 2010. And so it was synonymous to pensions in the country. There was a need for a reform, and so a commission was instituted, and they came up with a 3-tier pension scheme. And through the commission, we established the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, which became, or which is now, the regulatory body for pensions in Ghana. Through this same reform, there was the need for private businesses to come into the space to help manage pensions. So there we have it today, the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 1 is solely managed by SNIT today. So regardless of where you work, whether you work with BOG, whether you work with enterprise, you work with whatever organization you are in, when your tier 1 will go to SNIT, okay? Tier 1 will go to SNIT. Now the tier 2, tier 3 are managed by private organizations known as corporate trustees. And these private organizations or corporate trustees are duly licensed by the regulator. So they should meet some criteria to get their license to operate in the pension space. How do we get our tier 1, tier 2, tier 3? If you check my screen right now, you see a 13.5 under tier 1, 5% under tier 2, and tier 3, 16.5%, all giving you 35%. What it means is that at the end of every month, this percentage on your basic salary will go into the various baskets, i.e. tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Let me start with tier 1. Even though we are going to focus on tier 2, tier 3, it is important that I give you the basics on how the tier 1 deductions are made. So for tier 1, at the end of every month, 13% on your basic salary is paid by your employer. So today you are enterprise trustees. Enterprise trustees as your employer at the end of the month of March. We just ended March, so let me use March. At the end of the month of March, will pay 13% on your basic salary. So assuming you earn about 1,000 Ghana cedis, what it means is that your organization or your employer will pay 13% of that 10,000, which is 130 cedis, towards your pensions. Now, 5.5% will be deducted from your salary, and this is on your basic salary, okay? So I'm saying basic salary because I know in most institutions, you have the basic salary before some allowances are being factored in. The pensions are calculated on your basic salary. So that is the first thing that we need to know. So once the employer is paying 13% from its pocket or its coffers for you, 5.5% is being deducted from your basic salary towards your pensions. I suppose we are clear at this stage. So what it means is that together making 18.5 is divided into two. 13.5 will go to tier 1 and 5% will go to tier 2. It's tier 1, tier 2 from the beginning because these two are mandatory. They are compulsory for every employer to pay on behalf of their employees, of their workers every month. It means that if you are in an institution and your employer is not paying, thankfully, because we are here, employers are paying. But if you are in an institution before and they were not paying, you should be able to follow up or go to the regulator for the regulator to help you retrieve those funds. So every employer is mandated by law that at the end of every month, pay 13% on your employee's basic salary, deduct 5.5%, together making 18.5. 13.5 will go to SNIT, and 5% will come to enterprise trustees. I hope it is clear up to this point. Because these two are mandatory, they are fixed. You can't increase it, you can't decrease it. You can't reduce it. The percentages are fixed. Okay. So 13.5 that goes to SNIT, 2.5% goes to NHIL based on their pensions laws or guidelines, and 11% stays with SNIT. When you proceed on retirement at age 60, SNIT, based on your contributions you've made over the period and the number of years that you've worked, will put it will compute how much you should take home every month. So for SNIT, for the tier 1, it is called a defined benefits scheme. It is defined benefit because there is a standardized formula where your variables will be put in the number of years you've worked, 3 best year contributions, and all that. It will be put in that formula to determine how much you are taking home at the end of every month. So it is called a defined benefit scheme. And so that is for the tier 1. And you can only access it when you are at age 60. That is the compulsory retirement age of Ghana. Or when you are 55, between 55 and 59, you can go on early retirement. And at that point, you can also go for your tier 1. Tier 2 is called a defined contribution scheme. It is a defined contribution scheme because it is more or less like garbage in, garbage out. Any amount you put in your tier 2 or is contributed into your tier 2, and the accrued interest will be given to you when you are going home on retirement. Okay, so we don't put in any formula. At the end of every period, for enterprise trustee, we do daily compounding. So every day you see your values changing. So at every point in time, you know how much you are taking home. So that is what we call the defined contribution. So all that you've contributed, even if you've contributed for a month, a year, 5 months, 5 years, 10 years, all the contributions and accrued interest will be given to you so that you take home. And the tier 2 is paid as a lump sum. Tier 2 is paid as a lump sum, but tier 1 will be paid month on month. These two are compulsory or mandatory for every worker. Now we come to the tier 3. Tier 3 is optional. Tier 3 is a voluntary provident fund. It's made up of the voluntary provident fund and the personal pension scheme. And it's also privately managed by licensed corporate trustees, as I have indicated earlier. The tier 3 is not compulsory. It is optional. But if you decide to do it either alone or with your employer, the law is saying that I'm giving you room to save up to 16.5% of your basic salary without tax. Okay. And I must mention that the tier 1, tier 2 deductions are also before income tax are applied to your salary. And so you are able to enjoy 35% tax exemption on your salary. All right. So it means that if you are not doing tier 3, you are shooting yourself in the foot. You are losing up to 16.5% that you would have enjoyed from your tax. And you know, in our country, we practice the progressive tax. Okay, so the more you earn, the more taxes you pay. But the law is giving you the room for you to save on your taxes. So it's saying that join a tier 3 scheme, either with your employer or a personal pensions. If your employer is not doing it, you can speak to us. We'll enroll you on a personal pensions, engage your payroll, your finance team, and they will do the deduction from source for you so that you enjoy the before tax deductions. And you can do up to 16.5 in the tier 3, such that you'll be able to enjoy on your taxes. So together, putting all this together, we have 35%. So if I'm doing tier 1, tier 2, which is compulsory, and I'm taking advantage of the tier 3, which is up to 16.5, then I've saved up to 35% on my income tax, on my salary, which will not go into income tax. Because the law is giving the room to save on your taxes, and the law doesn't want anyone to take advantage of the system. It's saying that if you want to join the tier 3, then it means that you are ready to save or leave your funds invested for at least 10 years. So if you want to withdraw and enjoy the full tax incentive, then you have to withdraw after 10 years of being in a tier 3 scheme. If you withdraw anytime before 10 years, it means any amount you withdraw will be subjected to 15% withholding tax. So these are some of the things that we need to keep in mind. All right. I'm sure we'll have questions around it. So I'll leave room for if there are any clarity that you need, you can just put it in the chat and we'll pick it up. Moving on to our next slide, we want to look at the benefits of the Pensions Act. So with all this long talk that I have had on the previous slide, what is the advantage in there for me as a member, as a contributor? You're able to save up to 15% of your pension contributions, which is tax exempt, as I've mentioned earlier. And it means that you are taking advantage of the full 3-tier pension structure or the scheme as has been provided by the Pensions Act. Also, you're able to build your long-term savings to secure your future, whether it's your retirement, whether it's a home, whether it's a car, or any key financial goal. The trick here is that you take advantage of the tier 3, the personal pensions tier 3, because you'll be able to use it for so many things. You'll be able to use it for a mortgage, for a loan, and I'm sure a subsequent slide will talk about it. So let me not take the rain out of the wheel. And also, you're able to take advantage of the magic of compounding interest. I mentioned earlier that we run our valuations, so we have what we call the daily unitization. So on a daily basis, your funds are growing. So what it means is that today, if your contribution is 1,000 cedis and interest is 100 cedis, when we are going into the market tomorrow, we are not going with just the 1,000 cedis. We are going with your contribution and your interest as your principal. So we are going into the market with your 1,100 cedis as your new principal. So it means that we are building, you are taking advantage of the magic of compounding interest, and it has a very big potential for your financial stability in the nearest future. How do we manage your funds? I would say that the pension scheme or the pension industry in Ghana is one of the highly regulated industries you find. Okay, why am I saying this? Now we have the regulator, National Pensions Regulatory Authority, as provided by the Pensions Act. And we have the corporate trustees. The corporate trustees being enterprise trustees. Today we have about 23 corporate trustees within Ghana. And all these corporate trustees are licensed by NPRA, okay? And aside enterprise trustees, as we sit here or as your corporate trustees, we do not manage your funds just like that. We have board of trustees that operate each of the schemes that we manage. So for the tier 2, we have board of trustees that manage the tier 2. And for the tier 3, we have board of trustees that manage the tier 3. These board of trustees, the members are different, okay? And so they report to the regulator. We also report to the regulator in that sense. We have the investment committee within the board of trustees, and we have the audit and compliance committee also within the board of trustees. And just like their names, they see to the various areas of the running of the funds so that they are according to the guidelines given or stipulated by the NPRA. We have the scheme administrator whose work is to keep records. So in this case, enterprise trustees as an organization play the role of the scheme administrator, work on the statements, work on your biodata and all the information. And we have pension fund managers. So they help with the formulation of the investment strategies together with the investment committee of the board. And they report to the board and through to the regulator. So you realize that there are always a tripartite way of reporting. And so there are always checks and balances in the system in such a way that it will be very difficult to manipulate figures. And so NPRA is always on its toes and always reconciling reports from the various service providers. Now, pension fund managers, I'm sure most of you know fund managers in the country, but not all of them qualify to be pension fund managers. So before you become a fund manager in Ghana, you should get your license from Security and Exchange Commission, SEC, to operate in that space. But before you can become a pension fund manager, aside getting your license from SEC, you must also meet some criteria and get a license from NPRA to operate in the pension space. So those who have met that criteria have their license to operate in the space. And at Enterprise, we look for the best. And so today, we work with the likes of IC Assets, we work with the likes of Data Bank, we work with the likes of Stanley or Stanbic Investments. So these are the people or the fund managers that we operate or we work with. And we have the pension fund custodians, which help with the safekeeping of the assets. So today, your employers don't come to Enterprise Trustee's office to pay the monthly salaries or to pay the monthly contributions. They go to the custody banks. Okay, so the pension fund custodians are banks, but just like the fund managers, not all banks qualify. So you have to also meet some criteria to operate. And at Enterprise, we work with the likes of SCB, that's Standard Chartered, and EcoBank, as well as um, Stanbic Bank in that field. And we have auditors who audit our books every year. So as we speak, audit for 2024 is ongoing, which is scheduled to be completed before end of this month and submitted to the regulator. So all these players come into play in the management of your funds, which is to ensure the security of it. How do we then manage the investments? So today, as I mentioned earlier, highly regulated industry. And so you can't just wake up and say, dollar is doing well, so I'm going to push funds in dollar. We have areas that have been stipulated, given to us by the investment guidelines of the NPRA. And so we have these 7 areas where we should invest. Outside of these areas, we can't invest anywhere. We have Government of Ghana securities, local government bonds, money markets, collective investment, corporate debt, equities, and alternative investments. And all these areas have the maximum limits in which you can invest in. For Government of Ghana securities, there is a minimum, but the rest, there are no minimum, you just have the maximum. And so Government of Ghana, you can't do less than 30% of your entire portfolio, that is your assets under management, and you can't exceed 75% in that bracket. All the others have the maximum as indicated on this slide. And these reports are sent to NPRA on a monthly basis so that they check that indeed we are doing the right things and the funds are secured and members are gaining value for their money. Let's move on to some essential tips that I think that as new members of the enterprise family, we need to know. So once you change jobs and your provider, your corporate trustee, your pensions provider is new, is different, what you need to do is to consolidate your pensions contributions. In our space, we call it porting. So you need to port your funds such that you'll be able to monitor and keep all under one umbrella. Trust me, today we have the strength to go about, we have the strength to remember where we were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, who their trustees were, and we will be able to chase and all that. But there will be a time where we'll be old, we can't move around often, and we can't be checking on all those things. So it's important that anytime you move, you consolidate your fund. How will you do that? In my next slide, I'll teach you how we can go about it. And you also have to explore the savings opportunities under the tier 3. I earlier mentioned the personal pensions. We have the pension-backed mortgage, and we have the loans. We'll give our contacts to you. I'm sure these are conversations that we can have one-on-one, meet with advisors. They can come to your offices, meet with you, and give you a tailor-made solution for your pocket, for your financial aspirations, for your financial goals. But the personal pensions is a magic saving investments that you need to take advantage of once you are with the family. Also, you need to also monitor your accounts keenly. At Enterprise, we have various channels. We have the USSD, we have the mobile app, we have the web app. All this means you can access your contributions. And so we advise that every now and then, check that your employer is paying. I know you trust your employers, but please check on a monthly basis to ensure that the contributions are being allocated, and check the progress or the growth of it so that you're well informed, and it will help you in your planning for your retirement and your financial goals in future. And the most important thing I will put it, the most important thing for me is for you to update your personal information, your KYC. We need to have your details, because today when you leave your employment, we can reach you on phone and email if you've provided for us. Unfortunately, if any of us pass, God forbid, but if you pass, we will pay your salary, your contributions to your beneficiaries. Let me put it that way, your beneficiaries. And so it is important that as we update our details, we also update our beneficiaries as well, so that we will always have information available to reach out to the members and yourselves where necessary. On the member portal, as I mentioned earlier, anytime you join a new scheme with the employer, the Act 766, which is the Pensions Act, permits you to move your contributions from your previous trustee to your current trustee. So all that you need to do is to speak to us. We will share a form with you. It's just a pager, one pager form. You complete the information that we're requesting. You attach a copy of your ID card, send it back to us. That is all that you need to do. And we will chase it and ensure that the funds are transferred to your current account. We have a relationship with the other trustees, and so we'll be able to work around it. Usually it takes about 90 days for the funds to be completed. There are the ifs and the buts, but all these things we'll be able to cross them once we get your forms completed. And the ease of processing benefits at retirement comes to play. You don't have to go to trustee A, trustee B, trustee C, trustee D just to chase your funds. So it's important that you consolidate it now. Anytime you move, consolidate it to your current trustee so that when you proceed on retirement, you'll be able to go to one trustee, complete the documents, required documents, and get your retirement benefits. And also, the security of your funds is very essential. You should know the kind of corporate trustee that you are with. ET or enterprise trustees, we have the proven track record in pensions administration in Ghana. We pride ourselves to be one of the first corporate trustees in Ghana with the largest market share, and we are doing great. And it's somewhere that you want your funds to be, and not in organizations or places where you can't vouch for the security of your funds. And also, you need to know that the chances of qualifying for pension bond mortgage is dependent on your pension balance. So today, if your funds have spread across, it means that what you have with enterprise trustees might not be much to qualify you for a pension bond lending, either mortgage or loan. So when you consolidate it and you have a personal pensions put together, your balance will be heavy enough to afford you a mortgage facility that you so wish. So these are the importance of member porting or transferring your funds from your previous trustee to enterprise trustees. And also, I want you to take advantage of our digital platforms. Monitor your accounts every now and then. I'll give you just a few seconds. You can take your phone, you can go to Google Play, you can go to App Store, look for Enterprise Advantage app and download the Enterprise Advantage app. You'll be able to access all your contributions. The good thing about Enterprise Advantage app is that if you have policies with a sister company, Life, if you have policies with insurance, if you have any policy with transitions, our funeral people, if you have any Acacia Health insurance, you will see all on that app. So it's a one-stop shop for you. So please go online, Google Play, App Store, and download it, and you'll be able to access your personal information and be able to do benefit projections also there. You can also use the USSD *714*333# to access your contributions, to sign up for personal pensions, to update, to even put a direct debit on your Momo so that every month, every quarter, every week, deductions are made into your account. So these are some of the platforms that you can access your contribution. I want you to explore savings opportunity under the Tier 3 pension structure. I'm saying that you need to take decisions to start saving a little more today so that you witness your pension fund grow beyond your wildest imagination. How will you do that? The magic is dialing *714*333# because you are never too young to navigate your financial choices. So we always advise that you start early, you start small. In my next slide, we will show you how important it is to start early and to start small. And this is the good news that I always share with our new members of the family. It is a challenge that we at Enterprise Trustees, we have given ourselves. We want to be millionaires at age 60. And so this is the road to 1 million by age 60. So you should just check the table at the column which says age. Just fix yourself where your age is. And you realize that the older you are, the more you are contributing on a monthly basis towards this goal. It can be another goal. Maybe it's not 1 million by age 60. You have a goal in the next 5 years, a goal in the next 10 years. You will be able to use this to at least know your smoothness level. Let me put it that way. So on this table, we are assuming an average year-on-year interest rate of about 12%. We are playing the devil's advocate because trust me, personal pensions will not do anything like 12%. The least we will do is even 18%. We don't do. The average interest year-on-year for our personal pension product is around 23%. And so once you are with us in this scheme and you are doing a monthly contribution, so today let me say I'm about 35 years. 35 years, it means that if I want to reach this goal, I need to start contributing 530 CDs every month. And the magic of compounding interest comes into play here. At the end of the years, because I'm 35 years, I have 25 more years to contribute. At the end of the 25th year, I would have contributed a total of 159,530 Ghana cedis. But the interest then is the total interest that I would have gained on this fund that I've contributed. I would have gained a total of 846,000, almost 847,000 as interest on this contribution, which gives me a total lump sum benefit of 1 million. Maybe you want to do more, and so you can challenge yourself, but give us a call, get in touch with us. We will help you, give you the benefits projector so that you'll be able to play around it and know how much you should contribute to meet your desired goals in the nearest future. In terms of the pensions, back facilities as at the loan and the mortgage, as I mentioned earlier, once you consolidate your funds, you have enough balance to be able to afford any of these facilities. And so we currently work or have partners in EcoBank, Republic Bank, Leshego, and SEG to provide you with all these facilities, either loan or mortgage. So you can also speak to us, speak to our advisors, and we'll help you to access any of these facilities. Let me take a brief moment for you to scan this QR code. If you have not updated your details with us, if you don't receive your monthly updates, if you don't receive our quarterly newsletters, if you're unable to access the USSD, if you don't get our quarterly advantage reports, if you don't get receipt of our annual fact sheets, please scan and provide us with your information. And once we update the information on a periodic basis, once we send this communication out, you'll be able to receive it and get informed, get to know how your funds are doing and any other relevant information that we have for you as your corporate trustee. How do I access my pensions fund? I think that's the most important question that people ask. Charlie, how do I get it? If I want to withdraw, what happens to me? How do I receive my funds? And so, as I mentioned earlier, you can only access it at age 60. That is for tier 2. And it's paid not later than 30 days after you hit retirement. And this is given to us per the Pensions Act. However, at Enterprise Trustees, we do between 10 days. You are working at doing about 5 days in the next coming weeks. And so within the 10 days, when you are at retirement, is 60, and you complete the required documents, provide us with your ID card and all the necessary details, you will receive your total benefits. If you are age 55 to 60, as I mentioned earlier, you'll be able to access it as well. Unfortunately, if God calls you home, we'll pay it to your surviving beneficiaries, regardless of your age. And if you are medically unfit or incapacitated to work again, based on clearance we'll get from a medical board by NPRA, we'll be able to process it for you. If you're a foreigner and you are going to your home country for good, we will seek approval from NPRA and we'll process your funds for you. And for tier 3, like I mentioned, it is available for you to withdraw, but we don't encourage it. We always advise that you have a goal and have a plan. And if you want to withdraw, at least ensure that you are 10 years within the tier 3 scheme so that 15% withholding tax will not be applied. And this 15% withholding tax is payable to GRA. It doesn't come to enterprise trustees. It's important that we know that. What do I retire with? So your total contributions and the interest will be given to you as a lump sum. And how do I make the benefit? You complete a benefit form, attach a valid Ghana card. Recently, NPRA issued a statement to say that all pension transactions or contributions or transactions should be backed by a Ghana card. And so now we are going strictly with the Ghana card. So it's important that you get your Ghana card details updated with us. And anytime you put in a request, attach a valid Ghana card, let your HR or finance manager sign off. You submit the form through the HR or you send it to info.trustees@myenterprisegroup.io and we'll process for you within 10 working days. There is an interesting product that we have, which is for the aged, for those who are nearing 60 or those who are 60 years. We know that money can fly. Okay, so when you are a 60 and you've not really planned on what to do with your funds, when we give you the lump sum, we give you the million, we give you the 900,000. If you're not careful, you put it under your bed or your bank account, and you'll be called to be the chairperson for the fundraising. Funeral donation will come, naming ceremony will come, and by the time you realize you spent your whole retirement benefits in the 5 years or 3 years that you went on retirement. And I know God will bless us to live about 20, 30 years after retirement. And you ask yourself, what are you going to do for the rest of the years? And so we have the Purple Drawdown product, which will help you. It's like an annuity product. You determine how much you want to be paid every month or every quarter, and it will be paid to your account. Meanwhile, the lump sum will be invested and will be accruing interest. And this one is invested in the safest instruments possible, because at that age, the risk tolerance is zero. So this product is therefore our senior siblings, for those of us who will be proceeding on retirement soon, our mothers, our fathers. You can recommend it to an uncle, a mother, a father to take advantage of it, and it will help you regularize how much you get on a monthly basis, which will cushion what SNIT also pays you for you to have a comfortable retirement life. Another interesting thing, at Enterprise, we give you a lot of interesting stuff. Okay, so working with us or being with us, it's full of interesting rewards, interesting products, things that will make your journey quite interesting and seamless with us. So we have what we call the advantage points. So you can earn rewards through this advantage points. So those of us who have downloaded the Enterprise app now, you can sign up on our personal pension product through the app and you get some points. And the points, you can redeem it to get some vouchers, some airtime, some data, even to the extent of getting some weekend getaway with a loved one. There are so many in store when it comes to the Enterprise Advantage app. So sign up on EPP through the Enterprise Advantage app to gain some Enterprise Advantage points, and you get the rewards. You can engage in fun activities like quizzes, follow our socials. So that's another thing. You follow us on Instagram and boom, you get points. Follow us on TikTok, you get points. Follow us on LinkedIn, you get points. Just follow us. Our social media team puts out so many interesting activities, so many quizzes. Just partake in it, and you can win so many prizes. And all these things are just to make you feel part of the family and also part of the Enterprise group. So please download the Advantage app now. Follow the link and you will get the rewards that we have for you. We will share the slides with you, and I'm sure we'll share a separate SMS with the advantage points for you so that you can be part of this reward system. I'm sure with Kofi Akwele and with Dr. Chambers, my good friends here, most of us can relate in one way or the other. I'm wrapping up. I'm sure I've spoken about most of these things on our slides, but Kofi is a young adult. And so we advise that if you're within Kofi's age, these are the things that you need to pay attention to. Consolidating your funds, reporting, I've spoken much about it. Have areas of investment, the personal pension, very important. And you need to have an emergency fund. Please, the tier 3 is not an emergency fund. Personal pension shouldn't be an emergency fund. You should have areas of investment and have portfolios and say that this is my emergency fund, because anything can happen at any time. And at this age, you can take advantage of pension-backed mortgage and loan facilities because you have some years ahead of you and you'll be able to pay it off. And once your tier 3 and your personal pensions is working for you, you can use it as collateral to get these facilities. And as you take your time to pay off, it will still be invested and to be accruing interest. At the end of the day, it's a win for you. You pay off your facility, you still have your funds invested, you don't have to touch it, it's invested and it's accruing interest for you. If you are in Aquili's age brackets, consolidating your fund is important, having areas of investment is important, and at this age, we advise that you should be preparing to pay off all your loans and your mortgage, because at this stage, you have about a decade more to retirement. And so you are preparing the platform. You want to pay off all your loans and your debts and ensure that by 50, 55 years, at least you've paid it all off and you are free. When your retirement time is due, your benefits, you can enjoy it all to yourself. And also when you are at Dr. Chambers' age, that's retirement bound, you should know that the Purple Drawdown Plan, that's our post-retirement product, is there for you to take care of your funds, how you regularize it, and how you'll be able to have a comfortable retirement. We have so many tailor-made solutions for you. So speak to us. Let's know your goals. Let's know your aspirations, and we'll help you with a tailor-made investment package that will suit your pocket. So like I said, you can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube at Enterprise Trustees, all at Enterprise Trustees. Follow us on all these channels. You gain points, you'll be able to be involved in our quizzes, our reward system, so that you get informed on all activities. And also our office locations, this is our digital address. We have offices at Advantage Place, that's Rich, very close to the BOG new office, Enterprise House at High Street, Airport Market, very close to the National Service Secretariat at Airport, our Tema Market, Kumasi Market, Takrade Market, Tamale. So wherever you are within the country, you can get in touch with us. If you can't digitally engage us, you can walk into any of these offices and we will have personnel in there to assist you. Thank you very much. It's been about 40, 45 minutes of talk. I will give room for us to interact in the next 10 minutes. We'll take questions and we'll take answers at this time.
Tim, I think there's a hand raised by Dawuda Atangoga. Mr. Dawuda, if you can hear us, please. Please go on with your question, sir.
All right, so I think we have some questions in the chat. So if Dauda is not hearing us, I'll pick the questions in the chat.
Sorry to cut you. So Mr. Dauda is saying that he doesn't have access to talk.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Mr. Dauda. If possible, kindly drop your question in the chat. We'll pick that up. I think the audio has been disabled to prevent interruptions. So kindly drop your question in the chat. We will please pick them and address them. So let me pick the first one from Mr. Charles Finn Odro. He says, hello, sir. Please, after downloading the app, how can one log in to check the tier 2 contribution? All right, Charles. So the key thing is your phone number. So the phone number that you registered with or you gave to your employer. So that is what we have on record. So kindly log in with the phone number, the same phone number. If in either case you've not updated your phone number with us, let me just go back to the QR code. Just can provide us with the your details, and we'll be able to pick it up and assist you. But I've noted your name, so after the session, I'll have a team member engage you to assist you to log into the app to check your tier 2 contribution. But just use your phone number, the same phone number that you gave us, and you'll be able to do that. Thank you. Henry is also asking, and that's from Samuel Henry Owusu. Says, how are we the new members be able to log onto the app? Okay, so Samuel is the same as Finn's question. So just use your phone number and you'll be able to log onto the app. Samuel Edriam McLean says, thank you for the presentation. Most welcome, Samuel. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Dauda, okay, Mr. Dauda, please, we're expecting your question in the chat. I think it's down there, so I'll get to it. Samuel again says, also, when I was filling the form for enrollment, I filled the portion too. How will I know it has been reflected? Okay, great. Good thing that you've done, Samuel. So, like I said, it takes about 90 days for the whole process to be completed. And once we receive the funds, we will send you an alert, okay? Once we receive the funds and allocate it to your account, you receive an SMS alert to indicate that the porting funds have been received. And usually when you check your statement, you will see the narration as transfer or ported funds on your statement. So that is how you'll be able to do that. But you can also get in touch with us on any of our touch points, and we'll be able to confirm for you. Going down to Dauda's question. So kindly throw more light on how I can sign up on the app and get to know my balance and others. All right. So like I mentioned, kindly go to Google Store, Google App or Play Store. I usually miss those two. So Google App or Play Store, download Enterprise Advantage app. Enterprise Advantage app. Once you download the Enterprise Advantage app, it will ask you to sign up. So usually because it's your first time, you have to sign up. And all you need to do is to provide your phone number. I'm sure once you provide your phone number, it will be able to authenticate and set your password so that you can log on to access all the products and the policies that you have with the enterprise group. So Esther Biney says the last monthly update I received was June 2024. My details have not changed. So why the halt in updates? Esther, that's a very good question. Thank you for bringing that up. So I'm sure depending on the time you joined, some of you might have received a message on an important update that we were doing on our core software. And so we halted the sending out of the messages, but that has been completed. And hopefully starting this month, the coming weeks, we are going to send out the messages on the monthly contribution. But also, I usually advise that you don't entirely depend on the SMS that you receive on a monthly basis. If possible, just make sure that at the end of every month, you give yourself about 2-3 weeks, because usually the contributions, the pension contributions are due the 14th of the ensuing month. So March contributions, the deadline for payment is by the 14th of April. So we're hoping that by 14th of April, all our employers have made payments. And once they make payment by 14th of April, within 5-10 days, it's allocated to your account. So you can give yourself 1 month 1 month after the end of the month. Just check and see that your March contribution is allocated. So you can use the USSD, you can use the app, you can go to our member portal, that is the stable, and also check for updates in there. Esther, so please, you can check for us and let us know if it's still not updated so that our team will pick it up and address the concern for you. Magdalene says, please, I would like to find out where to get my account details after management shifts funds from one company to enterprise. Magdalene, I'm not sure if I understand your question. So we want to get your account details. So your member ID. If it is your member ID, the team will pick this up. We'll get your phone number and we'll get your member ID. So usually you need your phone number, but you can go to our stable. You just need a phone number to log on and you'll be able to access your account. But we've noted your question and the team will pick it up and assist you with your account details. Moving on to Theo Amma. Theo says, my date of birth with SNIT is correct, but my date of birth with Enterprise Managing the Tier 2 is not correct. How do I correct this? Theo, it is simple. So provide us with the SNIT ID and a copy of your Ghana card ID, and we will amend it for you. So you can just send us an email with your SNIT ID and your Ghana card ID. Just send it to info.trustees info.trustees trutees at myenterprisegroup.io. My colleague will drop the email address in the chat. So pick it up, just send us an email with these documents, and we will assist you amend your date of birth, which is very key and important. Prosper says, nice presentation, bro. Thank you very much, Prosper, for joining. Henry says, kindly talk more on the loan and mortgage. Haha. Henry, the loan and the mortgage is a very interesting conversation. If you wouldn't mind, drop your contacts. Let's pick it up and get in touch with you. But ideally, if you have a tier 3, the law says you can use your tier 2 to secure a primary home. But for the tier 2, some of the providers do not accept it because when you default, they can't access it. You can't access tier 2 until you are 60. So the tier 2 is used as a security. The tier 3 can be used. That is why I said it's important that you consolidate all your tier 3 funds and you have a personal pensions, which will cushion your balance. And you know that any facility that you are going for, depending on the area or the cost of the facility, you need to have about 1/4 of it as your closing balance. So if you're going for a facility which is about 400,000 Ghana cedis, you need to have about 100,000 Ghana cedis as your closing balance in a combined voluntary tier 3, that is the PF and the personal pensions, to be able to access that facility. Today, we work with the likes of EcoBank, we work with the Shego and the rest to offer you these services. If you come with your own providers as well, we'll be able to work with them. And so just drop your contact, we'll get in touch with you and have a further discussion on it. Because we are not doing well with time, we wouldn't be able to go into the nitty-gritties of it. But this is the basis of it. Just know that your balance is enough. You'll be able to assess it. It should be able to cover 1/4 of the total cost of it, and you'll be good to go. So I think my colleague responded to Dauda's question here. All right. We've dropped the info.trustees email as well. So Esther is asking, what's the meaning of CBT? So that's contribution for short, contribution for short. So Esther is saying, per my checks, my last CBT, that's the last contribution date, is December 11, 2024. Okay. All right. So your last contribution is 12th of November 2024. Esther, kindly drop your contact. Let's check on your accounts again for you. Right. Thank you, Samuel. That's your contact. We've picked it up. Esther, kindly drop yours as well. We'll get in touch with you and assist you reconcile your account. Okay, Samuel, the porting is still in place. I'm sure my team members have taken note of that. They've taken your contact and they'll get in touch with you to update you. All right, so I think that is the last comment in the chat box. We'll give ourselves just about 5 minutes. We're scheduled for an hour on this call. So in the next 5 minutes, if there are no other questions, comments, we'll bring our discussion to a close for today. But I want to say a very big thank you to all of you. You've been a wonderful audience. It's been interactive. Your contributions, your questions coming in the chat box. I'm sure that most of the things that we've discussed here will help us and we'll know our way around our tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. But it's always important to be updated. Keep us updated with your information. Your phone number, your email address, your Ghana card, and also your beneficiary details. Very important. Esther Baini, thank you very much. We have your contacts. We've picked it up. So Chelsea is asking, hi, I joined late, so I didn't get much information. I wanted to know how I can access my statements. All right, Chelsea, so we'll share the slides with you, but my colleagues will drop a member portal link in the chat. Just access the link and enter your phone number and a default password, which will be given to you, and you'll be able to access your accounts. Again, you can go to Google Store or Google Play or the App Store and download Enterprise Advantage app, and sign up with a phone number, and you'll be able to access your account and all other policies with the Enterprise Group, i.e. Enterprise Insurance, Enterprise Life, Enterprise Funerals, popularly known as Transitions, Enterprise Acacia, and Enterprise Properties. I hope that is fine, Chelsea. So my colleagues will just drop the stable link, the link to our member portal in there for you. Most welcome. So I'll pick a last question from here. Someone is asking, why is it that most payments are not up to date? For instance, since last year, February to date, my contributions has not reflected. This will be a peculiar case, so kindly drop your contact so that we engage you, because we know that for almost everyone, we have allocations done up to date. So let's pick up your contact. What could happen is that maybe there's a duplicate account for you, so the account number that you know, your contributions are not in there. And so once we get to know the issue, we'll just merge the account so that I'll give you the valid one so that you'll be able to track it. Others are asking about the life insurance aspect. Kindly get in touch with us so that we'll link you to our sister company, Enterprise Life, so that they will pick up the life policy that you wish to sign on to. Theo is saying the email address is not showing in the chat. Theo, please scroll up. You see it there. It was dropped by Felicia, info.trustees@myenterprisegroup.io. info.trustees@myenterprisegroup.io. All right. So this is all that time will allow us today for our first quarter new members webinar. And again, I want to say a very big thank you to all of you for joining. On behalf of management and staff of Enterprise Trustees, we welcome you again to the Enterprise family, and we hope that you enjoy your stay with us. Get in touch, follow us on our socials, get informed, and let's have a good and fruitful partnership. Thank you all, and have a good afternoon.